So I have compromised a list of things I want to go over. Basically, the future of BakuProject and how it's gonna have its downfall. I mean, it's a prosperous future. So the first things first, obviously, we got the 20 Bakugan that Bakudev said he's gonna add. Obviously, that's probably gonna be most of the season. Rest of season 1 done. Do you guys think he's going to add some from season 2? Yes or no? Be honest.
Uh,
We've already
Okay.
seen in the sneaks that Wilda and Percival are already done. They're in the game. We've seen their cards. We know they work. Do you think they'll add some from season 2?
probably, yeah.
You think so? Okay.
For how the game's been running, how the game's been moving, it's actually possible, yeah.
See, here's my concern with it, though. If you release 20 Bakugan, let's just say all the evolutions of Drago, all the evolutions of the other Guardian Bakugan, right? And you release new Vestroya Bakugan. Nobody's going to get those evolved Bakugan because the new Vestroya Bakugan will mostly just overpower them with cooler mechanics. Or, obviously, if they were doing the dimension thingy, which we were talking about, which was separating Season 1 and Season 2 and Season 3, then obviously that would work fine. But unless that's happening, I don't see that as being a good idea. Thoughts?
Okay, so why do I think this can work? Okay, they can do a system in a way. Not really a system, but the Bakugan themselves. Okay, if the Wilda has a base G's of 500, which is not unseen, is actually weaker than Ultimate Dragon and Alpha Hydra, so that's fair. Then we have, what was his name again for Drago's first evolution in season 2? Neo Cross? I forgot.
Neo Dragonoid.
Neo.
Oh wait,
Neo
like,
Drago.
are you talking about his original form when he was given back to Dan, or the evolution
When he was first given back to Dan.
Yeah, that's Neo.
Neo Drago came back with 400 Gs. It's weaker than base Hydra. But you may be talking about, oh yes, their ability cards. To be fair, at best, if you want to build a deck correctly that doesn't only rely on one Bakugan, you're going to have to cut the character abilities, at least for the Season 2 down, for at least you only use 2 of them in your deck just for consistency.
Right. Jason, you got anything you want to add on to that?
Pretty much Bunny went over it. If they're gonna add them in Season 1 format, it should just be some of their abilities are limited or changed in a certain text. And then Season 2 just be completely different format of abilities.
Right. So, another thing I want to add on to that. Season 2, right? If they do decide to add Season 2 Bakugan, where you obviously just have one Bakugan, you have multiple rounds of throwing in the same Bakugan until your life meter goes down, how should the abilities work? Should they be a one-of? Should you be able to repeat them over and over? Or should we have a similar system as we do right now? Because obviously there's multiple concerns with that. If somebody has a very high G power Bakugan and they can just keep using the same abilities, there's no shot you're winning that fight. Obviously. So, I mean, it's a con and pro at the same time.
I mean, for that, New Vestroya and Gundalia did have an actual system when it came to ability card play. It wasn't just spam. There was an actual system where different ability combinations would lock your opponent out of activating certain abilities, and then that's essentially how you won. It wasn't power-based. It was forcing your opponent to play certain ability combinations, and then you lock out those combinations.
That was the entire system of double ability and triple abilities. You can combine so many abilities together, it would eventually, if you did a sequence of abilities right in the double abilities or the triple abilities, it locked out your opponent completely.
Right, right.
For instance, one of Neo Drago's base abilities was Burning Dragon. I forgot what episode it was, but there was an ability combo that prevented him from activating that, and for most of the other ability cards, Burning Dragon needed to be activated for the other ones to be activated in the same sequence. Once that ability card was locked out, that's pretty much the only time that Dan lost those little mini battles. Except for the one where he fought Spectre with Spectre using the forbidden cards.
And if Dan is literally like, if Dan couldn't use Burning Dragon to, whatever it's called, Burning Dragon or stuff like that, to start his plays, Drago kind of just whipped out the Infinity Core, which was its own type of like ability card line for himself as well. Think about it like this. Think about like an evolution line. Drago must use Burning Dragon first, then you're allowed to use other ability cards. And if that's locked out, he's resorted to use the Infinity Card abilities.
Okay, okay. Some very good points here. So, moving on to the next topic, because obviously this topic's been covered well, I'd say. We also got confirmation that winning emotes or poses will be added to the next update. So basically, I'm hitting the gritty if I beat any of you guys in a battle. So, what are your thoughts on that?
It's like, it could be like a Fortnite situation where the emotes can literally be anything that BakuDev just thinks is funny.
Well, don't you think that would also contribute to the toxicity of this game?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point. I mean, it's like definitely that's the point of a winning emote. It's either supposed to be toxic or something else.
Yo, I'm hitting the gritty. On God, I am. Yo. Oh, you guys are fucked. Anyways, so all right, cool. Any specific emotes you guys would want to do on my ass or something?
Okay,
Pause.
I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be real. Just for the funny, a default dance would be pretty funny. Just a default dance for Fortnite would just be funny because how much of a meme it become.
Yeah, me personally, that would be an instant ban if I'd see that. But hey, next topic. So we also have custom throws. Very interesting. This is what got me very like excited. So obviously, I like I don't know about you guys, but my favorite throw animation from season 1 was Shun's throw, or Shun or Masquerade's throw. They were fucking awesome. And from the game, I would say Marduk's throw is just goated. So I would love to be able to do that, like do a flip, throw my Bakugan, land on my feet, not my ass. You guys probably think that I'm fat and ugly and EDP looking, but I'm not. Trust me. So what? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, what would you guys want to have as your custom throw? Would you want to throw like Dan Marucho, bro? That isn't even throwing. He's falling. So what would you guys want?
Okay. Okay, you want to go first this time?
Yeah, I want specifically the first episode that Masquerade threw a fucking Bakugan, the animation he did for throwing Reaper.
Oh yeah, when he took his hand up.
Yeah, I want that one specifically.
Took his hand up behind, bop. Oh, I gotta play that on screen. That was yep. Okay.
I specifically want that. That's my favorite throwing animation out of the entire series.
Oh yeah. Okay, Bunny, let's hear it.
Okay, this must be a bit controversial for a lot of people, but I did like Chun-Li's one because all the hand movement and everything.
Okay,
I just
well,
honestly
that's valid.
at my time in life, because the thing is, if he does custom throw light, some custom throws will have their own sound. To them, like how Chun-Li's play gongs during her throw.
Right.
I do like extra tiny stuff like that, where like some throw animations will have their own sound to them to make them a bit more unique.
I just feel like custom throws and emotes are gonna be cringe depending on, for one, facial features, right? So obviously our character looks pretty dead on the inside whenever we just win or whatever, and that's kind of annoying to me. I wish we could customize height or age or however you could look, because it's kind of like bland seeing the same thing. Yeah. Obviously, BakuDev did say he's gonna add some more customization options. So I'm hoping he's put some thought into that, because being able to do the Chun-Li emote or a backflip, and you just do a backflip, you land, and you're just like pissed. It's like, bro. And then you're just like, Bakugan brawl. Bro.
It's either that or like at the start of the battle animations, like what they did in the actual Wii game. Like fucking Marduk just does a backflip and just says, I will completely destroy you.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Marucho literally is coming in sliding from nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, yeah, okay, that's cringe. Alright, so next topic I have on here. Okay.
It's about like Bakugan throwing animations. Do you think it's a possibility of gate card throwing animations?
Oh,
like
yes.
We need those too.
Yeah,
we desperately need those.
BakuDev, if you're watching, make sure to add that too, because that's very important. I don't want to throw like a girl anymore. Anyways. Who do I want to throw at? Oh, nah, Chi-Chi. I know who I'm throwing last. Okay, well, Next topic, a very big topic that's been talked about every single day by some nerd in the Discord. So, a balancing of the attributes and their potential nerfs and buffs. So, let's start off with Subterra. Thoughts?
Subterra desperately needs their Delta Holder ability and maybe a negation, but other than that, they're mainly just missing their Bakugan. I've heard from so many players who have not touched the attribute fucking bitch saying it's so shit, it needs to be buffed to hell. For one, there's been multiple players who played other attributes and switched to Subterra and says that it's actually a lot easier to play than most people think. It's just the fact that, again, they need specific Bakugan for build because that's the only way you can make it good. Subterra mainly relies on requiring gate card advantage and running specific Bakugan for it. So if you add the rest of the Bakugan they need, you get rid of that feature, meaning any Subterra player can run whatever the hell they want.
So we've all played Subterra in this call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I touched it a little bit.
I made a video on my Subterra experience, which it didn't go exactly to hell. I actually did better as a Subterra player than I did a Darkest player, surprisingly. Now, that might be because of my terrible G-Power at the beginning, but I definitely did have a easy time as a Subterra player just because of the gate card control. But yeah, I see what you mean. Anything you want to add on to that, Bunny?
Okay, so Subterra in general, I have played it a handful amount just to get a good grasp over it. As like Jason said, it kind of does need its Bakugan. Subterra's entire playstyle, as the show has showed us, is knowing where to place your gate cards and where to place your Bakugan, and then relying on said Bakugan ability to win it out. Okay, let's do this as an example. Rattleoid. Rattleoid is a Bakugan that was meant for Subterra because it's literally only played in Subterra. But it can probably be used in other attributes a bit better. But Rattleoid in Subterra would be a good Subterra Bakugan because his ability would kind of have to work like Holograph Divide as it works right now. The longer the Bakugan's on the field and how many turn passes, the more it loses more it loses G power.
Right. And here's another thing they could do with Subterra. This might not seem like a big change, but this would make the attribute at least 3 times better. Changing Grand Slide to what it actually does in the anime. It was shown moving your own gate card, not just your opponent's. The episode that it was Billy versus Masquerade. Billy sacrificed a Bakugan to keep Hydronoid on a gate card, which was Quicksand Freeze, essentially rendering him immovable. He threw, I forgot exactly who he threw on the card. I believe it was maybe Wormquake or something like that. Rattleoid, maybe.
Rattleoid.
And then he used Grand Slide to move the gate card into the boundary that Billy's stare down was active, and then move Cycloid onto the card, which not only subtracted Hydronoid by 50 Gs, but it also allowed him to double stack. It just so happened that Masquerade played Oregano Revenge, which won him that fight. But it was shown to move your own gate cards and maybe even your allies' gate cards.
Okay, so you're saying that Subterra should be getting the buff of getting the original anime effect back into the card. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, understandable. Now, is there any potential nerfs that you would see Subterra would need? For example, limiting, let's just say, Grand Slide from 3 to 2 or something like that, or upping it from 1 to 2, something? Anything you guys got on your...
Okay, from playing Subterra, no, not really. Subterra doesn't need a nerf in any case, as it comes down to mostly deck building for it's out to shine. If more Bakugan gets added, in a Subterra deck, you'll kind of see a bit more character abilities than the actual, like, Subterra cards sometimes. Attribute cards from Subterra, because the character abilities are the key thing for Subterra.
Right. You agree with that, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we can move on from Subterra. So I want to go on to the next controversial one because I do think some attributes are currently good in their place. So I'm going to go on to let's go on to Darkus. Any thoughts?
People are. Okay, hold on. I can't say that word.
Yeah, you almost just said that. Yeah, I heard that one. I think everybody can piece together what you were trying to say. You can say that. You don't get demonetized for that.
Okay, people that plays or fights against Darkus, except like Chasen and like some exceptions, are like really, really, really retarded. I can't lie.
How so?
Like it comes down to the point of like when people complain about Darkus. So I do. If my streams didn't get deleted of my Darkus run, I would have like multiple videos explaining how I have explained before how Darkus is kind of not as good as people think. People complain about Darkus because it's negates. My guy, Chaos has more negates. We have even done a comparison where me and Chasen has been on the same team, and I was only there purposely sacking my Bakugan and purposely negating people's stuff just to keep Chasen alive.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I have to say, like, yes, Chaos is a bigger threat because that's Chaos's gimmick. Chaos's gimmick does its gimmick well, but people complain about Darkus being like, because people don't know how to fight against negates. That's it.
Okay.
Here, I'm just gonna.
sorry.
I'm gonna drop this point here. If you're gonna complain about an attribute, at least play it first, because what people don't understand is before the update, and I've said this so many fucking times, before the update that brought Dark Eye Superior, which I don't approve of Dark Eye being the one, they should have just gave Double Dimension, but I understand why. Reaper needs his own cards. It's completely understandable. But outside of that, Darkus was almost unplayable before the fucking update that brought Dark Eye. It was hell to play. Like you were forced to run the meta, which back then was fucking running Dual Hydronoid, Flatator, and Laserman. I usually just took out Flatator and replaced him with Leo because, you know, my boy. But other than that, you had to play it in a specific way, and if you misplayed one fucking card, you're dead. You're not winning that. It doesn't matter what you do.
So I do have a point I want to put on that. Would you say without Dark Eye Superior, Darkus is a very big inferior attribute?
Yes, it would.
Yes.
It would get to the point where it got no play whatsoever.
Okay.
We will get back to this point later because I do have some
Okay.
notes that I want to get to. But no, you can
Okay.
carry on. I'm just saying that the whole Dark Eye Superior thing, I'll get back to that later.
All right.
Oh, you don't want to say anything, Bunny?
Oh yeah. Okay. One more thing. In one of my streams that I did in my Darkest run that I'm due mad that Twitch deleted for some reason.
L promotion. All right.
So this would happen. I have tried running Darkest without Dark Eye Superior. I understand what Chasen meant when it was extremely unplayable. Because I started playing so many character abilities that was really unnecessary to play. Or some other abilities that was extremely unnecessary to play. The thing is about Darkest can't be head forward, charge in, do everything, since Organo Revenge does not work how it's supposed to work right now.
Oh, how so?
Organo Revenge is supposed to stop double teaming. Because Organo Revenge is supposed to take 100 Gs from each Bakugan and add those Gs to the said Bakugan. So let's say you're fighting a 2v1. It will be 100 Gs subtracted from both of the Bakugan, then 200 Gs added to your Bakugan.
Actually, no, that's not how it worked. The anime, no, even in the anime, it only added 100 Gs, subtracted 200. The way it's supposed to work is for at least the way it's coded in the game currently. For each of your Bakugan on the card, each of them gains 100 Gs, and it subtracts 100 for each Bakugan on your opponent's side. That's the way it's worded in the game. It's just not coded that way.
I thought it was. Never mind.
No, because every time you see Organo Revenge played, it subtracts 200 Gs and adds 100 to Hydronoid.
Yeah.
Editor, cut this out. This is embarrassing. Anyways. Right. Next attribute. Yeah, I don't even want to say it, bro. Chaos. Alright,
Okay.
begin. Bonnie, you're literally a Chaos man. Let's hear it.
Actually, first you speak on what Chaos. What do you want to know really about Chaos?
I want to know... wait, what I want to know? Okay, well, what I want to know is...
Basically,
what's your...
we want a basic rundown.
I want a basic rundown. What's your opinion on the attribute as a whole? Obviously, it's got its support gimmick, which it does very well. It can also go very hard on the offense. If you have a triple battle and you have a, let's just say, well, this goes for anything, but if you got a cut and saber or a chaos freeze and a rapid chaos, obviously that shit you just get free Bakugan on the field at once, and you can just take anything out, basically, if you play it right. Obviously, chaos freeze is not working the way it's supposed to right now, but that will probably change. So it's gonna be even more broken as it is right now. So what are your thoughts on the attribute as a whole, as its support?
Just a support deck, kind of bad. Chaos Freeze, it's because the rapid Chaos and Chaos Freeze should work with card because it's supposed to be a support deck for those two cards and the other revival cards of said Chaos. Chaos Freeze and Rapid Chaos should be able to be used without me having a Bakugan on field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now.
Because I should be able to cut into an ally's battle, because that's what kind of makes Chaos weak, because it can't really help out its friends. Because Chaos Freeze is supposed to just allow you to throw in your Chaos Bakugan onto any card that's fighting right now, without having to be any specific attribute. I don't know, either that was just for balancing reasons, but I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was. Because
If it was for
I think
balancing
I asked
reasons,
that question.
if
So,
it was for
Bunny.
balancing reasons, that's fair.
So Bunny, obviously, some cards in Chaos have received nerfs. What would you say about the biggest nerf in being Shade?
Shade ability actually made sense. Shade ability is supposed to be, if you want to negate multiple cards in a row when using Shade ability, time it right. Shade ability is supposed to be a card when your opponent gains too much G's, you cut them down. Cut them down back to base. The thing about this is, like, yes, it's a good card, but you gotta play it right. That's why if you ever were to use Shade ability, you gotta time it right. It's a like last resort card, to be say.
Okay. So let's just put this in an example, right? The way Shade ability worked previously when I was playing in Alpha was you could literally use it on any Bakugan on the field, even your own, and you could stop whatever effects had happened to that Bakugan, such as if my Tigrera lost 200 G power, it would be reset back to its base. If it had a certain ability that gave it plus, it would go back to its base. Now, you can only do that on an opponent's Bakugan now. So what are your thoughts on that? You think that's valid?
Okay. I only think this is valid because of one reason. Because it's never shown in the actual show if it could actually work on your own people. But if it could, this is where this gimmick comes into play. Let's just say this has happened to Chasen before, and it has happened to me before. Where Chasen would boost up his power of Bakugan, but he would boost up the power of his Bakugan, but they boosted up one more than he could afford, so he would use Doom Companion. Usually, a Ventus player would use Blow Away to blow to another ally's Bakugan to basically take out 3 Bakugan in one. If Shade ability was able to be used on an opponent, since the reverse order would go, Shade ability would proc first, which would then lower the original Gs of, like, said Bakugan and cancel out Doom Companion. So when it does get blown over, when it eventually does get blown over, it doesn't kill 3 Bakugan of your allies. That's the situation I was seeing it in. Basically, Shade ability is supposed to be a last resort card, so mostly you're supposed to use it in last resort situations.
So Chasen, as a Darkest main, what are your thoughts on fighting against Chaos players who are supposedly supposed to be support decks or support players?
They're fine as it is. It's just the fact that people who play it need to be fucking smarter. This is the main reason why Darkest gets complained at, especially from Chaos players. y'all need to fucking save your negate, seriously. Because I could push you on your card, play a grand down, and just sit there and play, oh, let's see who can negate more cards first. And you would end up wasting whenever that's my entire playstyle. I don't care about sacrificing a Bakugan. If I'm getting rid of your resources, then I'm gonna get rid of them.
So when if Chaos Freeze gets reworked and made into its anime effect, do you think that would make the attributes or the attribute even more broken than it is right now?
No, for the one key reason of the thing, Chaos Freeze is supposed to help your allies win battle. It's again, Chaos is supposed to be support in a type of way where you're supposed to be able to help your teammates when you can, and if they would ever need help. As shown in the anime, Chaos Freeze is supposed to at least cut in on a battle if your ally would need it. Again, this is the difference between like a boost card and jump-in cards. A boost card, the maximum we have ever seen a boost card does is like 200. Chaos Freeze is a very good card because it basically adds a Bakugan that could be 300 plus Gs to the battle, which since something like Chaos Freeze can't be negated, it would work. It's basically better than a boost card, which is where Chaos is supposed to mainly get its G power from.
Okay. So currently we have a what's it called? Well, basically we have a pretty solid attribute according to you guys. It's just people need to play smart, which you're not finding that in the kids game, let's be honest. So
Yeah.
with that being settled, I think Chaos is alright. As a multi-attribute player myself, I have no comment. So let's move on to the next attribute, which I'd say is pretty decent right now. Could obviously get some pretty significant buffs. Pyrus. Everybody knows how that attribute works. It's gimmick. You just overpower your enemies. It's got some movement cards, some movability. It's versatile, I'd say. You got some power gains. Yeah, I mean, you guys want to add anything to that? You guys think it should get a buff? What do you think it should achieve?
As of being a Chaos player, I do have a secondary attribute I do play, which is Pyrus. Pyrus is a fun attribute to the point where it comes to the Chasen's other thing where he said people need to stop wasting their ability cards. As a Pyrus player, you can just straight up not care of going literally for ban with people on ability cards. I have done it before where I have played with Chasen in the team battle, and I have purposely gone ban with ability cards with the opponent, and they have wasted so many of their resources just fighting me that when I was eventually defeated, they had nothing to do with Chasen.
Okay, so let's say this was a 1v1.
1v1? Oh, Pyrus. Pyrus still good. Again, attributes can't really go back to back with like all of like the G gain for what Pyrus does. As of right now, I say the meta for Pyrus, for at least its deck purpose, if you want a lot of G power gain in general, it would be Drago, Leonidas, and then just any regular Bakugan. Doesn't matter. Leo because his plus 400 and both of his Leo for his plus 400, basically 200, and Drago because permanent Gs.
Yep.
And then if you really just want to go with like one Guardian Bakugan, I would have to say Drago or Leonidas, then Fear Reaper, and either Robotalion or Siege, because they all have good ability cards.
Yeah.
Another thing with... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Another thing with Pyrus players is, I have found, I gotta admit, out of all the attributes, Pyrus players have to be one of the second smartest attributes I've seen. Comparable to, like, most Ventus players.
That's what I said on my stream. When I did a tier list. And I said this. Pyrus is literally the best attribute. All they need is a negate or a better way of moving other than power charge. And they're literally just going to be top meta. I just don't see them being beaten.
Fun fact about power charge in the anime, it wasn't actually a movement card.
Oh, what was it?
It was so it was only used for Saurus, but the card itself specifically just said Pyrus. it adds 100 Gs, and then after the next battle or during the next battle, it allows your Pyrus Bakugan to attack from. It was essentially a leap sting for Pyrus in general. It was an add 100 Gs to your Pyrus Bakugan and allow it to essentially snipe any Bakugan on the field.
Okay, now that would actually I prefer power charge then. Jesus Christ, that is yeah, I don't want to mess with that. I prefer the one we have currently.
Yeah. I
yeah.
asked Jogo about that because I rewatched the fucking episode that it was used. I was like, wait, hold on. So I messaged Jogo and he was like, yeah, we have that for fucking balance reason.
Yeah, imagine having a Pyrus leap sting or a Pyrus laser man with 2 leap stings and you got 3 power charges. Yeah, that's not a or 2 power charges. That's not a happy day.
Yeah, that's 4 leaf stings in one deck.
Yeah, that's a problem.
The thing with power charge as of right now, as I do play a decent bit of virus, I run it at 1 because I will only seem to use it when I need to rush, when I need to put another Bakugan in battle if I don't have rapid fire. That's the thing. Another thing is like Pyrus has actually everything except a negate. It has backfire for gate card removal, which is very good. You don't need to run 2, but at least run the minimum of 2, because at some point in time you're just going to rush down your opponent to win a battle.
Okay, so we've covered basically the most controversial attributes. Now, obviously, there's Ventus and there's Aquos. It's like, to me, the only thing that I can think of is I see a lot of people complain about Water Refrain being not its anime version, which I don't really know what that is. I don't really care.
It's,
Okay, I talked about this before. It's a very strong ability. I can't lie.
So the way it was is it prevented. Technically, it was supposed to prevent both sides because in the episode that it was Jenny and Jules versus Dan and Marucho, Marucho was about to lose Preyas until Water Reframe weared off, and then he was able to use a correlation ability card. And it did that a few times where both sides couldn't use abilities until the fucking Water Reframe wore off for the time. But other than that, for the way this game is set up, it would be almost impossible to code it in that way unless you set it in fucking like 5 turns. Neither player can play ability cards. Because if they were doing it in battle instances, every time you end your turn during a little mini battle, that's technically counted as a turn, not towards the ability card drawing turn cycles.
Yeah, we're not in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, so hop that ass back on Bakugan. So, other than that, Aquos, very fun attribute. I played it. I made a video on it. Fucking amazing attribute. I would love to play it, but I just don't have the time to level up Aquos Bakugan and have fun with it. I don't even have time to beat that chaos.
Honestly, Koto, I think as a multiple attribute player, I think something you should play is like Preyas, and when we do eventually play it, Angel and Diablo, because I think it would fit your playstyle a bit better than just 3 different attribute Bakugan.
Well, yeah, I definitely could do that, but here's the thing: I don't want to have multiple Guardians because I don't rely on Guardians to win my battles, except for Tigrera. She's so hot. But yeah. Anything
No,
else?
not like that, but the thing is why I said those, because those are really the Bakugan that were meant to be played with like multiple attribute cards in mind.
Yeah, those guys are the exception.
Yeah, I just don't want to use Preyas because I don't like the way he works.
But
Fair, too much RNG.
Back to Aquos, this is just my personal opinion. They only need 1 card, and at max it should be a 2 if they do add it. Aqua Guardian for an extra negate.
Okay. So Ventus, John's favorite attribute to
Annoying.
troll. Yeah, okay. So I didn't even say go, bitch. Why are you saying annoying? Shut up until I'm done talking. So yeah, like he said, annoying. Thoughts? Now you can talk. Open your mouth.
It's
Go on.
It's extremely annoying as an attribute in general. No offense for the people that do play it, but the attribute is the most cowardice attribute I've seen in my life. It's the most accurate, but it's just the most annoying because it's just like an attribute that like, wow, you play because you don't really want to fight. You play because it allows you just to piss off your opponent. Basically, the biggest one that can make your opponent waste resources. The easiest. Backdraft, blow away, stuff. Just the movement cards in general will just make your opponent waste ability cards much faster because of what it can do.
So technically they don't have negates, but technically they do. What do you guys think about that? How many negates do they think they have?
They basically have 4. 2 backdrafts and what? 2 reverse flows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 4.
And
Wait,
then
can't
if
you have more than 2 backdrafts?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure it's a 3 of, yeah.
Yeah, so you got 5. There you go. If you want.
That's why whenever I hear Ventus players complain saying they need boost cards or fucking negates, you don't. One, Ventus is kind of what Chaos has, where you're meant to double or triple team.
So technically, you can have 7 negates.
Yeah.
If you run attempt to clear.
Yeah, or you could just have one that you just can't stop, Fortress.
There you go.
But with that, Ventus is the only time you should ever use backdraft or reverse flow, specifically reverse flow, is if your opponent's essentially forcing you, meaning you don't want to lose that fight, you just send it back. But when it comes to backdraft, for instance, if you're getting leap stung, you just backdraft them. That's a negate. If Laserman's not on the field, card cannot resolve. That is a negate. Same thing reverse flow. If you reverse flow yourself when you're getting leap stung, guess what? Bakugan isn't dead. Card doesn't resolve. Negate. Same thing with any boost card unless it's something like permanent boost, like Boosted Dragon. That's the only time where it's not a negate.
All right. So we've gone over all the attributes, basically. Let's damn. This is another controversial topic. Bakugan leveling and HSP gain. Is it good right now? Or does it need to be tweaked, boosted, or lowered? Some people say it should be lowered.
No, okay. For the XP system, instead of just increasing or decreasing XP gain, it should be based off... Okay. The current leveling system is currently based off of what the Bakugan's base Gs are when you buy them from the shop. Instead, it should just go overall what their base Gs are. Meaning, a Fortress at base, 370, it would level up quicker, but once it gets the same base power level as a dual Hydronoid, it would take the exact same amount of XP and time to level up that a dual Hydronoid would need to level up. It's essentially like, this is the one thing I like Pokemon for a comparison. When you're catching a legendary Pokemon, they're usually a higher level than your main team. Because by the time you get access to it, it's around level 70, and your rest of your team's either level 50 or just hitting 60. It takes longer for that guy to level up, but your other team levels up quicker until it gets to that point. Then it's going to take around the exact same time. Mm-hmm. One, it would be just for balancing reasons, because then a Serpenoid has... If you're one to run a full... Let's say if they got rid of the speciation rule, where you're able to run multiple Bakugan of the same species. You could run a full team of Serpenoids, get them up to the same level as a dual Hydronoid quicker, but once they get to dual Hydronoid's level, it would be the exact same amount of time. That way, nobody has a power advantage except for the people who played longer, which is what this game is. If you've played longer, you're gonna have higher shit. That's just how any game with a leveling system works.
On that
That's
topic,
how they should always work.
I think we should have an exception for Serpenoids to be a free of in the team. Okay, back to your topic. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, just for the leveling system, it's not even it's just accounts are fucked. I did testing with this, or not accounts, characters. Characters are just fucked. But when it comes to the leveling system, it needs to be balanced based on their base Gs that you have them currently, not what they're from the shop. And when it comes to HSP, that needs to be fucking upped by a bit, or at least lower the prices of everything. I understand dual Hydronoid being at a 1200 or 12,000. That makes sense. Base Hydra, when he gets added, I won't complain if he's 11,000 and his ability cards are like 6k each or something like that. That would make perfectly good sense. But when it comes to a Bakugan, let's say Preyas, who his ability's decent. It's not broken.
Decent.
I forgot how much he costs in the shop, but I'm gonna be dead ass. He should only cost maybe like 3K.
I think he's like 8,000.
He's what?
I think he's either 8,000 or 7,000.
think
Yeah,
it's 6.
he should at least be brought down to like maybe 4 or 5K.
But on that topic, BakuDev has said himself that having boosted HSP game would make the game less grindy and would make it so that everybody within hours would literally have every Bakugan in the game. Which, to me, I've said this, and that's utter bullshit. Now, he has told me, I mean, I'm not going to leak it, but he has told me before, this game's not supposed to be a grind fest, in which it currently is. So, me personally, lower the prices or up the HSP gain. It's as simple as that. If you want us, you're going to add more than what, like 60 Bakugan at some point. We're not going to grind for 8 hours to get HSP to buy maybe like 5 of those Bakugan. We're trying to have fun with this game. This is not supposed to be a Roblox game. So
yeah, if I'm gonna grind, I'm gonna go on Attack on Titan. They text here.
all right. Yep, cut it out.
Okay,
cut it out.
okay.
Cut it out. Cut it out the video. Done.
Okay, there's one thing I'm going to admit this. Okay, if the game is not going to be a grinding game, why add the concept of levels and so much and Bakugan costing so much?
Well, that's kind of on the community's fault because that was a
fair.
vote. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fair,
that one was a
but
vote.
it's like when you add a concept like levels to a game, that the game instantly becomes a game that you now have to start grinding if you want better stuff. And the HSP cost being so high as it is would also enforce grinding. Again, I don't mind the game being a grinding game because for one reason, it actually rewards you. You play longer than a certain player, and it rewards you for that fact. I like games like that. Because it's some games I do hate for this. I can play longer than someone. Like I can play like, let's say like 6 months longer than someone, and a new player can if a new player can instantly get up to like my type of like stats and skills just in a couple of weeks or days, I feel insulted because I just wasted a lot of time doing that myself. I think the game should be a grind because I spent more time actually playing it. That's what all games should be like if they have some type of like grinding system, like levels or items that usually just cost really expensive.
But Bunny, that takes the term quality over quantity to the next level. You're just ass. Nah, I'm playing. But hey, as an alpha tester myself, not trying to brag or anything, but when I was playing for the first time, leveling was smooth. I got 2 levels within the first battle, and I was hyped. I got rewarded for it. I got HSP. Obviously, the HSP was not good. I had to ask BakuDev for HSP every time, but and that HSP got used up in a day, by the way, so I had to ask that 5 times. But yeah, man, it's like HSP back in the day was decent. Obviously, it was way too quick, but I feel like we gotta revert to the old days because at least then it was actually rewarding to play. It was fun. You got something to show for all the hard work you put in. I put in 8-hour streams and I got out of there with like maybe 5 levels on each Bakugan. I was happy with that, although that is a long time. But most of the time I spent talking to the chat, so it was fine, right? But yeah, anything else you guys want to quickly say on this topic before we move on?
I'm gonna carry on your topic a bit. If a game like this is not supposed to be a grinder, I kind of actually do want it to be a grinding a bit because it forces players having to actually play the game more to understand the game more. Because as I have been in multiple VCs, Jason can cover this. People will complain about the stupidest things because they don't understand how exactly the game is played because they haven't played that long. People has even optioned a nerf for Leonidas again, when Chasen has told me people opted for a buff for that man.
A buff for Leonidas.
Yeah.
Okay, so back then, Chasen has told me Leonidas' ability was at 1 and only 1 before, and it got up to 2 recently. I think that's fair because it's how ability cards work in the game that also initiate how grinding this game can be. You gotta realize if they're going to be okay. I don't want to go too far into this, but just basically, the game should be a grind because you're trying to be the very best. How do you be very the best? By putting time into the game. And if the game's a grinder, that means the more time you put in the game, the more reward you get for it.
Okay, let me stop you there, Mr. Yappington, alright? Let me stop you there. Listen up, listen carefully. If you want to be the best, you gotta spend money. Sweat and tears, okay? I'm not grinding for 20 hours when I could pay $50 to get as good as you. I'm doing that. Over my dead body am I grinding 20 hours. I'll have you know, I got wallets to use. I'll have you... Alright, carry on.
I'm gonna be dead ass. The only part of this game that should be a major grind, not like fucking like what it is now, where you're taking months at a time just to level up one Bakugan compared to other people who fucking just have it lucky when it comes to XP gains. Leveling up your Bakugan should be the only grindy part about this game.
I agree. As it should be. G's, they do a lot for a battle. But, hey, next topic, big topic, which I feel is very important. The shop. Currently, I am very displeased with the shop. I don't know about you guys, but I fucking hate it. Every time I'm looking for a certain thing, certain card, certain ability card, it's never there, and if it's there, it gets bought by somebody else. Not only that, but the fact that the shop can only have about, what, 10 pieces of whatever you're looking for at a time for, like, what, 20 minutes is fucking annoying to me. I find it so annoying.
Before I answer that, wasn't it said that they were gonna add more slots to it, or am I tripping?
I feel like I've seen something similar, but I don't think a dev said that. Or I don't think BakuDev
with
or someone said that.
I'm gonna say this is just because I'm petty with this type of shit, and I love doing it. I actually do like it because I can just sit there and troll people.
All right, so your opinion is invalid. Next.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying I actually like that system because I can just sit there.
Okay, so Okay, so the thing is, a global shop system can work if you're helping your friends. In a key sense of point, you could tell your friend if something's in the shop and hold it there for them, and try to hold it there for them, telling them to hurry up and get on
Bunny.
so they can buy said item.
Bunny. You do realize when this game releases, that is not going to be possible.
That's why there's gonna be a trading system.
That's why, yeah, there's also gonna be a trading system just in case.
That's
your friend doesn't
assuming it will
item.
happen this update. Okay.
True.
That's
True, but
asking for a lot.
another thing I do hate about the shop is that duplicates can appear in the shop.
Yeah.
I am not lying to you. Where one time before, when I went to the Chaos shop, I saw how many slots are there? Because I can remember there was like how many slots are there?
I believe it's like
10.
think so,
I
yeah.
saw 9 sieges back to back, and then one juggernaut. I was like, so how did this happen? Those odds are rare. I just think, me personally, there shouldn't be able to be duplicates in the shop.
Are you sure Jason wasn't just trolling you?
No. I logged on a time where Jason has been taking a break. Jason has taken a break. I have been on sometimes when Jason has been on breaks. And I promise you, when I log on and see that most of the shop is just duplicates, I just literally want to log off sometimes.
L propaganda. Alright. W. So, let's see. I'm skipping over that topic because that's going to be the last one because that's going to be controversial. Okay, so next topic. Big topic. Next update, we're obviously getting all the Bakugan. How will the dual attributed gatekeepers impact the meta, and how will they balance their abilities?
Okay, this is the one I have talked about before with Jason and a bunch of other people. The dual attribute Bakugan should be able to... Dual attribute Guardian should be able to use both abilities, both attribute abilities from both generic lines. Because they're built that way, that's the point of their gimmick. But the other thing comes in, people like, oh, but I can just do this combination and that combination, it could be broken. No. Again, it comes down to deck building, whether a deck is good or not. That's why people constantly complain about Darkest. Because their deck building is either trash or something else.
Like, here, I'm gonna add on to that. It's like a Pirates player playing, let's say, Druman, and he's able to play Doom Companion. It's all gonna come to RNG drawing and building your deck.
So yeah, onto that. This is why I was saying that Dark Eye Superior is gonna be for later, because obviously that's your boy Druman's ability. But
yeah,
here's the thing, right? because I've said this in multiple streams. How in the hell is Darkus gonna be able to continue functioning when that's most likely gonna get removed from their kit? If or
Okay.
considering this is gonna be anime accurate.
That one they did say, because I was asking about that. That one's gonna be staying a Darkness Omni card. They aren't actually taking it away because Drummond still does have a shit ton of abilities. Okay, they took 2 abilities from Drummond: Dark Eye Superior and Destroy Force Down. Which
And he's not getting it back.
Maybe Destroy Force Down, I don't know, but he does also have this one other ability, or no, he has 2 other ones, which is Vortex
Iris
Dark
Reflector?
Flame. Well, yeah, that too. He had Pyrus Reflector and Vortex Dark Flame. Pyrus Reflector is probably just gonna be either just a negate for him, or, for instance, if you're fighting, let's say, Chaos, and you use it, and if they use, let's say, Lightning Tornado, it'll probably reverse the effect. So it'll essentially be a sort of a copycat system for Drummond. And then Vortex Dark Flame will probably either be a permanent plus set Gs, or just like a in-battle 1 card. Because Centaurier, which is his opposite, had the exact same thing. Except his was called Vortex Dark Pyrus. And he had, fuck, what was the shield called?
I don't remember.
I'll have to look it up, but yeah, they both had abilities like that. All the Naga Arc Bakugan, they had, both the counterparts had similar ability cards.
Okay. And how do you think they will impact the meta?
It'll be entirely based on deck building, because if they make it so it's split attributes, so let's say, it was Ventus and Aqua's correlation, which was, wait, were they correlations or were they just straight across? I can't remember.
Okay, so how they did the combinations was, it was Ventus and Aquas together, Darkus and Pyrus together, and Subterra and Chaos together.
Well, yeah, I knew that, but I'm talking about like how it was just correlating attributes instead of or with the exception of Drummond and Centaurier, because they were straight across, they were diagonal. I'm talking about the attribute placements on the wheel, because that entirely depicts the
correlation.
Okay, so for actually, yeah, it wouldn't matter. It didn't matter what attribute you would choose. One of them, they would be their correlating attribute as well. So let's say if you're an Aquas player, you have access to Ventus abilities, while either Harity or Tegan is on the field. If you're a Chaos player, you have access to Subterra abilities as long as Strike Float or Beater is on the field. And then Centaurier and Drummond, same deal. If you're a Pyrus player, you have access to Darkus abilities while they're on the field.
So obviously, all these guys are going to be in every attribute, I assume. And if that's the case, it's going to be fucking hell on earth. And I think most decks will have at least one of these guys. Who do you think will be used the most?
Okay.
Well, hold on.
Sorry,
Shadow, before you go into that. Yeah, hold on. Before you go into that. It doesn't matter what set attribute you choose them in, they're always going to be the corresponding attribute. Meaning, if you're choosing, let's say you're a Subterra player and you're choosing a Subterra, a Subterra Rebeater or a Subterra Drummond, they're always going to be fucking, let's say, Chaos. It's always going to be the corresponding correlation, or whenever it comes to Darkus or Pyrus, it's going to be diagonal. So it's either they do a system like that, or they're going to do it diagonal entirely for, let's say, if you choose an Aquas Centaurier, it'll be straight across or correlating. I forget where that placement would be. Because it'd be the same thing for Praise Angel and Diablo. The way they worked, if you chose an Aquos, you got a Pyrus and you got a fucking...
Chaos.
Yeah. If you choose a Subterra, you get Ventus and Darkus. It's entirely depicted by the hexagonal.
Now, coming to the point, I think I know what Klepto was also asking this. That you also want to know which attribute combination would be used the most.
That's what I'm getting at.
Okay. The combination attribute I see going to be seen using the most, that can get the biggest benefit, It's gonna have to be Pirates and Darkest.
Yeah, I was about to say. You're not gonna say that, but I knew that was gonna happen.
Pirates and Darkest only for one reason. Since Pirates and Darkest have actual correlation cards, that's a plus 200. That's a good plus 200 card to run, as that you can now freely run it because no matter what, you'll either have a Pirates or a Darkest on field just with having either Drewman or Centauri just standing there on a gate card.
Hmm. Right. So
What doesn't
again,
even need to be on the same gate card. Sorry.
They need no correlation should no diagonal
No,
link can work off.
No, Pirates and Darkest is diagonal, meaning they can be used off card. Correlations occasionally have to be used on card.
Oh yeah, they're yeah. That's the also versatility of diagonal links. They can be used off cards always, unlike correlation, which has to mostly be used on card.
so back to my question: which gatekeeper do you think will be used the most frequently?
This comes down to abilities now. Okay, so
I
I'm
still
gonna say
think it
right
will
now,
be Drewman.
Harity. No, Harity. If you've seen
one's
his
Harity
abilities,
again?
it would be Harity.
which one's Harity again?
Is it the other one?
It's the one with the tentacles for hair.
Oh
Is
yeah,
it-
Negate City.
Negate City. What's that mean?
My guy, he has like I think most of his abilities are negates. That's why.
No,
thing
I don't
is-
think people will be that petty. No.
People
don't
has
think
literally
so.
talked about running a full negate team before.
All right, fair enough. Cool. Do you think they'll be balanced by abilities though? Do you think like since he's gonna
Oh.
be in the Gate City, you could just put him down to 2-1?
Definitely. If at best, since the Naga Guardians do have to be stronger than... Since how the Naga Guardian system works, they either have to be the same base Gs as Ultimate Dragon Alpha and Alpha like Hydra, or they had to be 50 G stronger, which caps them out at 600.
Hmm. Right.
Which at this point pit their abilities to 1.
Okay. So on to the next topic. I put on here, I think it would be a good idea to have a clan system. Now, obviously, Vex Vigilante is the best clan there is, and I want to prove that by putting us on a leaderboard. So, what are your thoughts on that? Good idea or bad idea?
You want to bring Jason? You want to bring out the conversation we had about this, or?
Sorry, I was helping somebody. What'd you say?
Okay, so he was talking about the group and clan system. If it were to be added to the game, do you want to talk about what we talked about last time with it?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the previous conversation.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so the group and clan system, we was thinking it should work like another game that me and Jason will play.
I swear to God, if
Where-
you say Attack on Titan, I'm fucking leaving.
No, DDX, where if you
Oh.
were to join a group or a clan, it would have your group, where your name would be, and then under your name it would have the group.
With the icon.
With the icon, yes. And if there was a leaderboard for it for like overall HSP and it probably had to work on this, your overall rankings. Like let's just say your ranking score is probably going to be the overall group's ranking score. So let's just say everyone on the team has like 5,000, and I'm going to say the max is 10 players. Let's just say that. That group's entire score would be 50,000.
Okay.
I think that's how the ranking should work.
All right. That is, yeah, that's pretty well summed up. So, what season do you think this game will get to before BakuProject decides to call it quits?
I would say call it quits at season 3. We can't
Yeah.
touch season 4.
Nectanium Surge was ass.
Not
He
even
did
that.
previously say he would do all seasons, but I'm assuming he won't get that far.
Mectagon is going to be a clunky mess. I can't lie. Mectagon's going to be a clunky mess. That's why I said stop at season 3. Because at least at season 3, the only thing we get is battle gear.
Mm.
Which have shown can make a huge difference in battle. If used at the right time.
Yep. So you guys think season 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. So for my final question, when do you think the update will be for season 2? Me personally, I'm giving BakuDev till August. Because he
I
did say
think
soon. And soon is
It's
not
been
half
6
a year.
months.
Yeah.
It's
I-
yeah, it's been 6 months.
I give it the course of the entire summer. If it doesn't come out to the entire summer, I'll literally stop paying attention to this game because it's been 6 months. I can't keep track of this game.
Let it be
Yeah.
known. Let it be known, BakuDev. I didn't say that. Alright, well.
And here
It's
I'll
not even
say
like I hate towards the game.
here I'm gonna say this too. I'm not touching the game until the update. And if the update doesn't come by I'm just gonna give it until the end of the summer. I'm just gonna lose fucking the care for this game.
So how
Like,
much you guys paid for this game? Well, carry on.
I paid 20, but
I pay 10.
as
Bullshit.
somebody who's been playing since day one and I grew up watching this shit on the trailer, like in a trailer. This was the only thing I had to watch for years at a time. This has been my passion. But and I get the point of doing big updates. It's for surprises and shit like that, and it's good just to get everything out of the way in one burst. But when the games, and I'm not trying to be like a fucking bitch complaining here, for how buggy the game has been since the update, it would have been better just to do smaller updates and fix the mess. That way people are actually able to play the game, or at least the people who grinded to the point to be able to play the game, meaning at least what my shit is at, what Bunny's shit is at. We should be able to play the game and not have to worry about losing, for instance, ranking points, which I know don't matter. It's not even just that, it's also just losing the chance to get HSP or XP from battles due to crashing and shit. It's at this point, there's just no point in, at least for me, playing until something gets fixed.
And if we go on that topic and have smaller updates, do you think he'd actually talk more to his community?
Honestly,
Even if he needs to.
Yeah, even if he didn't do small updates, I would prefer we get sneak peeks every now and again, actually being communicated
Hyped up.
with.
Hyped up to the game.
Yeah, there's no communication, and that's what really is setting me off.
Obviously, he's very fine with giving away information, as I literally asked him on stream. I was told, ask him right now. Ask him what he's cooking. And he responded very quickly. Came into the stream, showed us some love. So obviously, he fucking cares. And according to him, June was supposed to give this information out before I asked. So it was kind of like miscommunication. I mean, I guess he's trying, but who knows, man. If you really want to get some info, fucking Vexos can ask him, I guess. Because they've paid for that permission.
Thing is, coming in during Wave 2, I gotta admit, it wasn't as bad as first until I realized the bugs is too much. It's another topic I really do want to talk about. It's just the bugs in general are too much, especially if you're coming in during the wave I came in was this update. Wave 2, basically.
Bro, I wasn't even in the wave. The fuck are you talking about?
You was in Wave 0.
Bro, I was in wave negative.
But yeah, I'm gonna be dead ass. Just the crashing and the fucking, at least
People
recently,
being ignorant.
well, no. Just the crashing and just in general, me figuring out that it's fucking characters that are the issue with XP gains and shit. That is enough for me to not want to play the game until something gets done.
So, and as the Discord has been voting, if you have seen it or not, people, this was a if maybe question that they did ask. It said, if the next update were to happen, what would you want? The three options were nothing to happen, a level reset, basically a level to reset to all Bakugan, and then the last option was just a reset everything. The most votes that is literally winning on an uphill battle completely uncontested was a level reset. Even people that have stopped playing this game as as much as they used to, has voted for a level reset because they feel like with this glitched level system where some people are getting more than others, there should be a reset, especially with 20 plus Bakugan, because people go to want to play with those 20 plus Bakugan.
Alright, let me be honest. So, as someone who's paid a lot of money for this game, if I were to be reset one more fucking time, I've been reset 4 times in total from wave 0. If I were to get reset one more time simply because the community wants to start off even, I'll have you know that's not what I paid for. I paid to be able to play a Bakugan game, have my own fun, not reset like it's some Arc cluster. Okay? So, how about you fuck off? I'm
Especially
sorry that you're late.
Especially in a beta, there should be no point to fucking like resetting all the items we have in game and shit when it's already
Whoa,
gonna
I
be wiped when the fucking game full releases. At most, just for balancing, reset every like at least stat wise, reset everything down to level 1, and that's just for Bakugan only. Because I get it. For a full like reset, you're giving new players who join a chance, but guess what? They can ask for help. They can ask for help from the veteran players who have nonstop played this game. And I myself have fucking sat there, helped people register for the game, compared to more fucking helpers. They need to do their job. Just gonna say that right now.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I said that. I don't care. I've said this multiple times. But yeah, I've sat there for fucking hours on end helping new players grind enough HSP to get the Bakugan cards, whatever that they need, and gave them tips on deck building depending on the attribute they're playing. They can ask for that. In fact, there should be a fucking tab where people who are Vexos or let's just say Wave 2 maybe, depends when they join, they should be given what's called a tutor role.
Like a title?
Where if no, like a role in the Discord or something like that, and then have their own channel where people can request for help. And it'd be like a whole ticket system where they could request for help, and then somebody could just respond to that ticket saying, "Oh yeah, sure, let me hop on and help you out." I forgot what. There's another game that I played that has the exact same system, but it's specifically a name for that Discord, and I forgot what they called it. But it's essentially just it's only there to help out new players, and it's only accessible by the people who fucking played during early access. It's just a way for new players to learn from experienced players.
Okay, I don't want to say anything bad about your stuff. Really, it's a very good idea. But the main problem we'll all come across against with this idea is players just not reading. Players do not want to do their own research, do not want to do anything for themselves unless they jump in. They see people basically jump in the VC, then ask questions of something that's already written down somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Like, I think Chasen has helped like multiple people get registered into the game when it's already written down in the Discord, and I've done that multiple times for other people. I have asked even people, have you read the FAQ just to see how to do the game, and you maybe just got confused. Multiple people has literally told me no, they didn't read the FAQ at all. They was just trying to figure it out themselves. I helped them anyway, but it just gets pretty annoying when you don't read the material that's given to you that's supposed to help you.
okay, wait, hold on. Let me say something really quick on that topic because you're spitting so many facts. 1 hour ago is when I uploaded the video recently. So, do you know what the first comment I got on that video was?
What?
What is this game called? Is it free? And where can I get it? So, you came to my channel. You didn't look at the description because you didn't want to read it. You have not browsed my other videos, which also has a description for the link to the Discord. And you have not watched how to download BakuProject, which is also on my channel. So you're asking a meaningless question, which you could instantly get an answer to, but if you just did your own research. One of my moderators had to answer your question, and still, you have not gotten into the Discord, which I'm not even going to help you with, because that it's blasphemy, in my opinion, that you're not trying to find it yourself. You could literally just search up BakuProject, and you'd find the Discord. But yeah. Last thing. Obviously Halloween is right around the corner. So
Yeah.
I have had some ideas for that on stream, and I say give Serpenoid life. I want Serpenoid to be in the game. People have voted for this. We need Serpenoid in the game. And what I mean, we need a Super Saiyan hair. He
Oh.
needs a rename. If Rataloy gets added to the game before Halloween, then he needs to be different. He can't be looking like a snake because obviously bro is not a snake. He's fake. Yeah, Serpenoid for the win. Anything you guys want to add on to that?
I actually do like that idea. Fucking costumes for Bakugan.
Costume like having Saurus with a top hat would be nice. Giving him a mustache and a monocle as well would be really fucking funny. Having
Combined-
Garganoid with actual nipples. Okay, wait, that's maybe too far. But
Okay,
No,
okay.
hold on, wait. So, back to that top hat idea for fucking Saurus. He has a fucking cane as well,
Jesus.
and
I mean,
it's like a new attack. It's like a new attack animation where he beats the shit out of people with his cane.
it makes sense. He's so hunched back. It would not surprise me. Yoda
The
looking
thing
ass.
is, with Halloween skins, I do agree on a lot of this. But another thing is like Halloween skins can also be references to certain YouTubers. Klepto, like with the Serpenoid idea, that could be a reference to him. I think the game can grow a lot within just costume references to like YouTubers that do play the game and stuff like that about their like favorite Bakugan, or even other references to other games.
So what would Jet
Because
Kuso have in your opinion?
don't mention his name.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Don't mention him. All right. Next.
I want a Galaxy Eye skin for Leo.
Yeah, video's over. Video's over.
Thing.
All right. Video's over. Nice.